Hey Dave, it's 3 after. Do you want to go ahead and get started? Hey Dave, this is Paula. Can you hear me?
Look, this is Karen. I just reached out to Dave and I haven't gotten a response yet. I don't know if something happened to his internet or I can't hear him either. This is Karen again. Dave's mic is not working. I think he's going to close out and go back in.
Hey Dave, can you try now?
previously.
Hello.
Hi, Dave. Is that you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think you're all set now.
Yes, Dave.
Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. And hopefully everybody can hear me.
Yep.
Today, we are going to talk a little bit on the employer answer hour. By the way, my name's Dave Horning. I'm with the Special Compensation Fund from the Department of Labor and Industry. And as you know, the campus application will be able to put workers' comp claims and case information tips. Your self-service online access is 24/7 via phone, laptop, however you want to communicate electronically. Securely send and receive any data through the campus application. And its campus application, of course, will minimize the claim errors and issues you may run into with paper-based filing. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about requests for information and elections. Elections to exclude certain relatives of executive officers of a closely held or limited liability company. And as some of you small employers may know or may be aware of the election, of course, is available to exclude certain family members from carrying workers' compensation insurance on those particular family members. So we'll get right into it. Request for information. Now, when an internal user, as you can see, sends a request for information to an external user, they'll receive an email with instructions. And let me just bounce into how that looks in real life. This is a test account through Google, through Gmail. And this is communication between the Department of Labor and employer. And as you can see, communication, electronic communication, there's no, it's going to stop any confusion, any errors, any miscommunication regarding any issues related to the department and the employer. As you can see here, there's responding to a request for information. Basically, let's take a look at it. And as you can see, this is confirmation that the Department of Labor has received your request for information submission confirmation. So it's everything is takes any ambiguity out of the process of communication between Department of Labor and the employer. And we can just go back to the this is the employer dashboard. So this is a dashboard that you as an employer would be seeing as you log into your account. And we do have some training on how to create an account in Campus and how to give group permissions or permissions to anybody within your organization to view and communicate with the department via the Campus application. And as you can see here, we have claims, we have some disputes and my forms. And we'll click over here on the group administrator, in this case, Dave Smith. You'll look at my groups, and as you can see, you bring up my groups, and then you'll have your employer name listed here with the permissions for the groups. The group admins, again, this is all available in a separate training, but we'll just go through it for a second here. You have the group admins, people who are able to access the information. As you can see here, the group administrator, the designated contacts, information, penalties, and claims. And we can just click on the hyperlink for the employer name. As you can see, it brings up your external employer details page. This is the page you as an external employer would see you in the campus environment. You'll have the address information available from us. And if you want to make any changes to any information on this details page, you certainly will be able to through DLI. But what we want to do is we want to take a look at some of the information that was related to the emails. We see coverage and history. You see policy history and exclusions. We click on exclusions. This is an exclusion that was submitted. And as you go into your details page, you'll be able to track any transaction between you and the Department of Labor. You'll be able to see related claims and cases. Give it a second here. And as you can see, there's related cases associated to your employer regarding claims, disputes, appeals. So anything associated with the entity, the employer, will be in the associated tabs down here. Quickly get back to the dashboard to the front page of your account. And as you can see up here, submit a filing. And as we went through on the email, respond to request for information. We'll go through that a little bit on the PowerPoint. Submit election to exclude. These are the two issues we will be going through. Since we responded to that request for information, we will go to the, let's just get back. And as you can see here, you can respond to in a couple of ways. As you can see here, you can enter a PIN, which will link responses to the correct request for information, or you can click on the email, which does not require a PIN. And view the document. So let's just go back to see if we can get. Hey, somebody's mic is on. Thank you. And as you can see, again, this has already been done, but just for demonstration, we sent a request for information. To respond to the request, you can click here, respond by email, or you have the security code, which you can access on a response for information. Some of the features that we have available in the test environment are not they're not operational. Unfortunately, and that's why I'm kind of just highlighting the steps to view or respond to this request for information. again, this is the test environment, and again, not everything is available in our test environment. But basically, as you can see here in the PowerPoint, you'll be able to download and view a document once you have the PIN validation. Upload the document. You can, responding to the request for information, and submit the form. And then you see the associated form in your My Forms queue. And we can go back there in a second. So go to My Forms. We have requests for information, which is not available in the test environment, but we will, of course, we'll look at the, we'll go right into the submit election to exclude. And just to show you what that document would look like after you, the employer, had completed this form. We're going backwards, but we'll go through a form to complete an election to exclude. But basically, this is a document that you would see. This document then would be uploaded to the department, and we would then review the document and accept the exclusion or deny the exclusion. But basically, you see the ellipse is over here. Pardon me. Menu. You can download this and have a on your end and have a copy available that way as well. But let's just go back to the submit. We're going to go back to the dashboard, and we'll go to submit a filing. So you want to submit election to exclude. This is the page. As you can see, you have 5 steps. Identify the employer, the eligibility, the corporate officer or manager information, relatives to be excluded, and certification. So first, we want to select an employer. And of course, this is our employer. And again, if you're part of a group, you have multiple employers, it wouldn't happen, but you can certainly select an employer if there's multiple employers. Next, you have questions that need to be answered in the affirmative. Is the stock of the corporation owned by 10 or fewer members? Did this corporation have less than 22,880 of payroll? And is this corporation currently registered with the Secretary of State? Yes. But if you say no to anything, you're not eligible to exclude from workers' compensation coverage relatives other than spouse, parent, or child, stepchild, as stated in the statute that references this feature. So we're going to go yes on all 3 questions. And now we're at, as you can see, we're at number 3. By the way, you could just bounce back anytime to, you just want to review it, just a nice feature. But so now we're going to add the officer or manager information. So the name, Smith, manager. I own 35% of the LLC. And as you can see here, again, an owner or corporate officer or manager has to own at least 25%. If I put in 14%, it's going to give me an error message saying it has to be at least 25%. So the we'll go back to 35, and as you can see here, we just click off the field and we get an ad. We could add another name, or as, of course, up to 4 if everybody owned at least 25%. But so you would list all the managers that are associated to the with at least 25% associated to the person or persons you would like to, relatives that is, would like to exclude from coverage. You go next, and now we're at the relatives to be excluded. So, name, complete name in one field, and name of the related executive officer or manager, Smith, and then the relationship. And as you can see here, it has managers, and then because it's a manager, not a corporate officer, you're only going to have the managers, the information for the managers listed. Of course, it's the same scenario for a corporate officer, which makes it kind of nice. But so basically, it's a sibling of a manager, and I'm going to accept. And now we're at certification, step 5. As you see, electronic signature, it's a requirement. And as with all electronic signatures, it has a disclaimer basically stating that by signing and dating this form, you certify everything is as it should be. Check the box. As I stated earlier, you're legally signing this electronic form. Executive title is manager. It's a required field. Phone number required for any questions. And this is a requirement. Have the relatives listed in section 4, which is relatives to be excluded. See up here, been notified that this form to exclude has been filed. You have to answer yes or no, but one answer you have to answer whether or not you've notified the relative or not. And as you can see, this, as we have in our current document for election to exclude, submit a copy of this form to your work comp insurance company, if any, so they have a record of the exclusion, and that would reflect on your premium, if any premium in any policy. And again, some more disclaimers from the department. And you could, if you wanted to add some supporting attachments, you could upload a document, but submit the form. And you'll get a confirmation number saying your election to exclude is successfully submitted. And you can go to the document. And here's the document as we looked at the beginning of this process, a completed document. And this is how our current form looks in paper form. And this is, you could certainly download this as a, or print it out. As you can see up here, you could print if you'd like. And this is a complete form. It'll have the legal name, the address, the employer, everything checked correctly, membership, manager, 35%, relative, excluded, and it'll have the phone number. And so all fields will be filled, and the election to exclude would then be forwarded internally here at the department for follow-up on our end. And I just want to let's see, let me just, I'm going to bring this screen over. This is again, this is a fictitious employer. But this, just real quick, this would be what we would look at on the internal side. We would have, I have 2 elections here just for testing, and one I approved today, and we have 1 pending. So this is the view we internally would see once a election to exclude is submitted by an employer, which is kind of nice. So everything is again, the great thing about campus is everything's electronic. Everything is right now, you know, somebody completes a form, responds to a request for information, does anything on a claim or case, it's instantaneous. As soon as you submit the form or any other request for information, it's internally, it will be on somebody's internal campus application, and internally we will be able to respond quickly, same day most times, and depending on the amount of requests or of information or any other issues that we have internally. But again, it's going to make life easy for everyone involved. No ambiguity on any. I didn't get a form. I sent the form in the mail. Any issues will basically go away with campus on communication between the Department of Labor and our stakeholders. And that's a real nice, it's going to be good for everyone involved, I believe. Any questions?
Steve, this is Karen. There are some questions or comments in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Would you like me to check those for you?
Oh, thank you.
So the first one is, when an employer uses an administrator for their work comp claims, will DLI still submit any requests for information to the work comp claims administrator as you do now, or would this come to the employer? And I don't think you can really answer that in this session, but I believe it would still go to the claims administrator, TPA, or insurer. But we can certainly check into that for you.
Yeah. If I could add to that, again, campus environment externally as well as internally is permissions based, and as you can see here in the group admin, if this group admin was a TPA and you as an employer were part of the group, whenever there's a response, again, it's not, our test environment does not allow us to really look at that today. But if we were going to send a response to, let's say Angie is the TPA, we could click on Angie, and then we can also click on the employer to receive any correspondence. Again, as long as you're part of the group, and you have an email, if anything is sent via the email, you certainly can be updated on it. You also, conversely, say you didn't want to receive anything from a TPA, you still have access to you as the employer, you would have access to just, again, we can just go back to the dashboard. You'll be seeing this. This is your personal page, and any claims, you can click on a claim. We can, I think this is test information. But yeah, you can click on a claim and view that at any time. So yeah, there's you can get notified and just come into your just sign into your campus account and view any claims, disputes. You have some disputes here. Again, you can, anything associated with you, with your you as the group admin on the external side, we'll be able to view anything within your queue, claims, disputes, and forms. So hopefully that answered a little bit of your question.
Dave, this is Karen again. So here's a second question in the chat. I think it's kind of similar. I have asked the TPA if they are preparing for this change, but could the major items be listed that they will need to comply with? This would give me information to follow up on. It was mentioned on a different call that if the attorney contact was initiated, that those listed on the group would be considered as served. Am I understanding this correctly? And I would say for specific questions about service of documents, there is a law firm answer hour at noon today. If you want to go to the DLI website, you can find that answer hour link. I will try to load that into the chat though. And I think possibly the other question regarding TPAs and the major items that they will need to comply with should also be in there, but I can certainly check with Melissa Parrish in our compliance records and training unit. She is leading the insurer TPA answer hours. And they just had one, I don't know, last week, I think, but they are having another one this week. So I will look for the link to the campus information and put that in the chat.
Thanks, Karen.
You bet. So sorry to throw you off there, Dave.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, everybody. Hey, I appreciate it. We have a good crowd today. It's good to see. Sorry we couldn't answer all your questions, but I appreciate your participation and have a great day.